how's it going? I'm Alice Takeover. Today we're going to be talking about what to pack as a traveling model. What are things that I find important when I travel, not only in my big old suitcase here, but also in my carry-on luggage. In the normal life of a freelance model, we're on the road all the time, either traveling in our cars or by airplane. Many traveling models make a full-time career just in the United States, but there are many models who travel overseas as well, internationally. With that said, it's very important to know what to pack, so tune in right here. I'll show you what I pack. So first things first, let's talk about the suitcase. This suitcase is one that I got recently, but I did have one like it before, and the lining only had ripped out of it, but the whole suitcase remained fine. So the size of the suitcase is 29 inches. I typically will bring a smaller carry-on only for most of my trips because I don't really need to check things, but in this case we're gonna use the big bag because I really don't think that you should be bringing a whole ton of luggage with you anyway as a traveling model, because if you're anyone like me, I'm like a little lady, and when I'm traveling around with like not only this big suitcase, but I have this bag and then I have like a little roller bag and all these bags, it's hard to like actually go from shoot to shoot to shoot with all this luggage. It's like weighing me down. So I try to travel as light as possible. Even in this video, I'm going to over exemplify for you how much I would pack, just in case there's anything that you may leave out. And there's things I don't even have that I'll mention because I know that most traveling models pack them. But anyway, back to the suitcase. So with the suitcase, I make sure that it's easily identifiable. I start out by tagging it with something that I know that I can see, apart from other bags that may be on the conveyor belt when I go to pick it up from baggage claim. So in this case, I have like a little piece of colored tape on it, and I have a piece of colored tape on the top of it as well. That way, no matter what angle it comes down off the conveyor belt, I know it's my bag just based off of this, because it's a basic black bag and I got it recently, so it's pretty plain, and people are easily confused and they will pick up the wrong bag, so it's better to have something on it where you can personally identify it. Usually the uglier the outside of your bag is, the better. Then you can identify your bag a lot quicker on the conveyor belt versus a typical black bag like this. I chose this bag because it's huge. It was a lot bigger than all of the other ones at the store, and so I got this at an outlet. Usually I go to TJ Maxx or Marshalls and they have these size bags for 80 bucks, and that's pretty good because usually normal retail for bags like this, which I always end up busting my bags after a few tours. It just naturally happens as you move around so frequently. Like in my case, I travel maybe like 2 or 3 times a week on the airplanes, so I'm constantly on and off the airplanes, and as I travel, the bags just naturally get beat up. So I've went through, I can't even count how many bags. It's probably been like 50 bags in my career. Like I've been through so many bags, and you could get a warranty and all that stuff, but you either need to pay outright for a really nice suitcase like Toomey. It's like the go-to travel brand. They have like these indestructible suitcases, but with this one, it's just a typical like $80. It's, you know, kind of flimsy, but it's tough enough where it'll withstand quite a bit. Now, a lot of people will opt for cloth because the cloth ones don't break. They'll eventually fray and stuff if you use them enough, but they'll probably last you longer than a hardcover suitcase. But I specifically get hardcover because one time I was going through JFK airport specifically, because this is not supposed to happen at airports, but it can, where I got the bag off the conveyor belt, which was at the time a cloth one, and it was just completely soaked on the outside. It had been sitting in the rain, and so all of my stuff on the inside also got soaked. I usually wrap all my things in plastic bags. That way, if there's any kind of leakage, not only from the rain, from outside elements in between switching on planes and stuff, but also from maybe your own shampoo or something that spills in your bag, then you don't want that to be all over your nice clothes. So with that said, I always opt for the largest size suitcase I can find. Hardcover keeps my things dry from the elements outside, and I usually put my items in plastic bags, so that way anything that's a liquid in my bag that might bust and leak everywhere doesn't get all over my items. So with that said, let's check out some of these things that I like about having a bag. I love when the bags come with this side pocket, and when they have these 2 pockets here, makes me super happy. I get to store lots more stuff. Then you can also store stuff back here under the lid, which is really nice. And then, you know, you have your big compartment here. All bags come with these straps. You know, I never really use them, but if you really wanted to, you know, lock your stuff down, I guess you can. But yeah, let's talk about what I put in those compartments. So I already started out with 2 items in this pouch right here, which you can hide in your bag. This one, not this one. So here I have my ID tag. I've had this ID tag forever. It came with like my first suitcase and I just keep moving it from suitcase to suitcase. So the bag tag, you're gonna wanna leave where people can find it just in case your stuff goes missing. If your bag gets lost, it's very important to have an ID tag where people can look and go, oh, it belongs to so-and-so. And usually on a bag tag, I'll write my phone number, my address of like where the best place to ship it is, and my name, of course, and my email. So people can get a hold of me either by phone or email to let me know that they have my bag and how they should proceed with getting it to me. It's important to have a bag tag with all of your information, including address and contact information and your name. It's good to put those in your suitcase, not only on the outside of it, but inside your suitcase as well, because if in transit for some reason it gets ripped off the outside of your bag, then how are they going to contact you? So if not just this method, you know, you could do it both, but don't just put one on the outside of your bag in case it gets torn off. So the second thing I put in my bag, which I didn't do for a long time, but someone thought it would be a good idea to tell me, is a tracker. Now this is an Apple AirTag, and I think that they make another one that's like an off-brand type of tracker, same type of thing. It's like the size of a coin. This one is in a case. I think I can, oh, it unsnaps. So this is the size of the tag, and then you hook it up to your phone so you can always see where it is. And I always get nervous and then I go on my phone, I'm like, man, my bag's not, because I usually have priority, so the bag usually comes down first. But in circumstances like the airport workers just being dumb with delivering bags in the order that they're supposed to be delivered in. So there's been times where I've had my priority bag come out last, but I didn't know it would come out last. I'm like, oh man, is it even here? And then I check my phone and I'm like, oh, it's in the airport. And it says it's right here, so it must be on the way down. But if it got lost, I'd at least be able to tell where it is. Like if it's in the Dallas airport when it's supposed to be in JFK, then I can at least notify Dallas airport, hey, you may see my bag there. And then they could take appropriate action to look for it. So I'll keep this not here, because if someone takes your bag, then they may take your tag, and then the tag ends up going with them wherever they go. And it's not uncommon for weird loonies to go through bags and hide this somewhere. A lot of people will make a spot for it, or like in this case, there's a lining here where it's a zipper. There's a zipper thing here where you can put it behind the lining here. Oh, I even think it, yeah, it has a it has Velcro too, so I could put my Apple AirTag under there, or I could put it somewhere else in the bag that I think is appropriate to hide it in. And just don't forget it if you ever switch your bag, to make sure you grab it and to move it. So I'll just put that back here for now. Well, I guess I should example it for you and like hide it. So hid that under the lining. So now we're gonna talk about what kind of clothes I would pack. So starting out, I wanna start out with shoes, because shoes are kind of dirty. And usually I keep all of my shoes in shoe bags, usually plastic ones, but the cloth ones are fine because it's shoes. So I always make sure to bring a pair of black heels with me. I love pumps. I think they're very classic and pretty. And I think that they're presentable not only in modeling photo shoots, but to go out in public in as well. It's kind of a multi-purpose type of heel. I really like heels a lot in black. I love having a white pair too, but you really should have black and nude. And so nude heels, I either opt for a nude pump or something similar. This is kind of a shoe that you can take and wear with pretty much anything. This is like a nice outdoor shoe, nice indoor shoe. It's a nice runway shoe. You know, this is a pretty good all-purpose type of shoe. The Velcro on this is kind of tacky, but these are my training shoes for runway, because I've been doing a lot more runway work versus commercial print. So these are my practice shoes, and they're all beat up on the underside from just running around on them and turning and all that. So those go in the bag. They would go in a shoe bag, but I'm just kind of like, you know, going through and showing you real quick. Running around type of shoes. Make sure you pack some sneakers. I think sneakers are always great to have on hand for comfort. I usually wear them through the airport. These are a very simple pair. They're like laceless, and they're just a slip-on type of sneaker. It's great for the airport because if you wear a big bulky shoe, it'll set off the detectors and stuff, even if you're in TSA pre-check. Another shoe you might want to think about bringing is some kind of bootie. These are my little booties. I like them. Just basic, goes with everything. And don't forget, if you're in cold weather, you want to make sure you have fuzzy boots. These are wonderful. These are called Sorels. You might be able to see. I don't have any sponsorships from any of the brands I have here. It's all just stuff that I use and I like a lot. So these are like your go-to mountain shoe. Next thing is, not only would you wear something comfortable to the airport, such as what I'm wearing here, just something comfortable, pack another casual outfit as well. Especially if you end up sweating in this and you're like, ugh, then you'll want to have something else to change into as well, another casual outfit. And I highly recommend when you go to the airport to not dress up. Dress down. There's a lot of people that say, oh, you should look nice when you go to the airport, and it's fine to look nice, but make sure you're comfortable. I'll talk about comfort a little bit later on because I have some comfort items in here that I really love, so I'll let you know about those a little bit later into the video, but make sure you are dressed comfortable. So I'll pack my comfy clothes. Comfy. I also pack my shoes at the bottom of the bag. That way when it's rolling around, the shoe and the shoe dirt and everything's on the bottom, and then the clothes are more on top. If you're going somewhere warm, you're gonna wanna make sure that on the chillier nights, you're gonna wanna pack a little bit of a sweater, something that's just a nice little jacket. I like white jackets because they go with everything and it's really feminine, so I just have like a little white hoodie. They can be really hard to keep clean though, so if you want to opt for something that's feminine but still nice, maybe gray or something. And black is good with everybody, and black is always a good winning color too, so I have a jacket. Next thing, I'm gonna pack a pair of jeans, just in case. Jeans are always good to have on hand. Next thing is a formal outfit in case you go to a nice dinner. A lot of photographers will treat the models to food after the shoot, which I am totally fine with. I get hungry. And it's very common. I've never had a photographer not pay for my meal, which was awesome. It's kind of like a thank you for having a nice shoot. Now, it is important to differentiate with people that it's not a date. It's just getting dinner after a photo shoot. So I bring an outfit that's nice, but not too like showy, like something I'd bring on a date. Like, so something cute like this, you know, something not too crazy, but something just a little nicer than your casual outfits, but that still may be casual. Next up, make sure you have your workout stuff. So I have a couple little workout clothes here that I'll pack to make sure I stay in shape on the road. All right, this is getting folded back up. Put in there. And you mustn't forget your underwears. Have them hiding back there. So don't forget your underwear, very important. Make sure they're clean. Make sure you wash everything before you leave. And don't forget your little socks. Had them hiding too. Socks. I kind of put all the little toiletries and clothings in the little pouch thing here. And if you're a lady, make sure you bring a bra if you wear bras, you know. I have a couple for different reasons, so this is the least sensual one that I can show on camera. Make sure you pack bras. And one more thing. Oh, make sure you pack your coat if you're going somewhere cold. I recommend that even when you're on the plane to wear something warm, maybe not this warm, but you can even wear your jacket, honestly. Wear something on the plane that has sleeves because you can always peel out, but you can't put clothes back on. So make sure you're coated up pretty well for the plane because it can get kind of cold on airplanes. And here we have the prop clothes that you might have as filler for some of your photo shoots. It's good to check with photographers before you leave on tour to see if there's anything that's in your wardrobe that they may want to use. If they don't specify any type of clothing, I always recommend maybe like a little dress. So here's some dresses that I'm going to bring. Something that's weather appropriate, of course. A lot of them like a pair of jeans. A lot of them like t-shirts, or whatever looks good on you is what they're going to be happy with. So yeah, normally when I pack stuff like this where it's in a plastic bag so it doesn't get wet. So these were already pre-packaged, so I'm pretty happy about that. It's a good example for you of how I would normally pack things. So nice and packed. Also, another note to make when I pack, when I have a big suitcase like this, I don't cram things in there because a lot of these airlines only have a 50-pound weight limit. And if you get on the cheaper airlines, it's like a 40-pound weight limit. I think that translates to 23 kilograms for 50 pounds and less, probably more towards like, I don't know if 15 is appropriate, maybe 17, something like that. So that's the clothing I would generally pack for a trip coming up to go on tour somewhere. You're gonna wanna make sure that you have enough clothes in case you don't get to a washing area very quickly. I have enough changings of clothes usually to last me for a week, and then I either have to visit a laundromat or have a host photographer or Airbnb that has a laundry area where I can wash my clothes. And you guys must be wondering what these are, so always make sure that you pack bug spray and sunscreen. I have very light skin, and even if you are a dark skinned person, it's very good to take care of your skin. It's good to take care of your skin and make sure you don't get bug bites and you don't get burnt by the sun. Bug spray and sunscreen have saved me many times where I would have otherwise had some kind of skin thing happen to me and it would have been the end of my tour. And your skin is so important in modeling because it really portrays, I mean, all of you is skin, so it's important to take care of your skin and make sure that not only you drink lots of water so you don't age as quickly, and I could talk about my skincare routine in a different video, but it's also good to make sure you pack sunscreen and bug spray. That's it for the clothing items. I'm sure I left out a thing or two, but in general, that's what you're gonna want to bring. Just enough clothes that are gonna last you for the length of your tour, and anything the photographers might want you to pose in. So next we're gonna talk about toiletries. Now, as a traveling model, you're gonna want to make sure you have all the essentials. Now, if all of your liquids are under 3 ounces each and they all fit in a quart size bag, usually they'll let you get away with a gallon bag, but I wouldn't chance it if you're not TSA pre-check. So let's see what I pack. I just got this little travel bag recently. I often kept my stuff in a separate suitcase and laid the suitcase in here, but it was so big and I never used all the makeup. So I downsized and I had it in a Ziploc bag for a while, which was not working. Just to have all your makeup floating around in a bag like this doesn't work. So another model friend of mine came out with this thing and I was like, holy cow, where'd you get that? She was like, Amazon. So you can get something like this on Amazon. It's like a hanger type of bag where you can hang it in the bathroom and it holds all your stuff really nice. So I have all my stuff organized. Here's like basic toiletries. Now, they're also not a sponsor, but I swear to freaking goodness, I love this company. Rael, I don't know. They make these pimple patches and they're super cool. I learned about them from another model and I swear to God, I mean, I have pimples, but I never show them off to everybody. I even have a pimple right on my chin here right now. It was terrible to try to cover up, so I just kind of left it out. But see, I mean, I could put that right on top and it actually not only acts as a cover, but it pulls all the crap out of it. So I use these all the time when I am on the road and I get a pimple on tour and I'm like, oh my God, I can't scratch it off. I can't squeeze it or it'll just get angry and still scab up. So these are great, especially if you have a pin and you can poke it and then it has a place where it can suck out all the stuff. And I just kind of keep it where I can easy access everything. So I keep my nail kit on hand, nail clippers, cuticle trimmers, I have my tweezers in there as well. I have a nail file and I have like a little pin poke pimples with if I need to. And then next up I have all my like makeup and stuff. So not only do I have my makeup, but I also have women's care products. Next up I have like most of my makeup in here. So, you know, I keep a pair of scissors on hand, that's pretty handy. And then the makeup itself, I use Urban Decay's All Nighter formula for my foundation. It acts more like a pigment. I actually should cover up this little pimple on my chin. So usually when I have a foundation or something, I just use my fingers. I don't even own a brush. This obviously has the pouches for holding brushes if you do have brushes, but I just don't use brushes. I use my fingers for everything. My primer in here, my eyebrow pencil, my mascara. This is Dermablend body cream. Is it called body cream? Dermablend Professional Cover Cream. If you Google it, it's, you know, it's like the one thing that models use to cover up bruises and tattoos and stuff. This stuff saved me so many times when I've gotten a really annoying bug bite or I just ran my leg into something and then I ended up with this big bruise. It works best if you cover the entire area. Like say I bruised a part of my arm right here, I would cover the whole arm with it so then it looks seamless, and I might even do it to the other side if it doesn't quite match. And I have 2 of them because this is a mix between my skin tones. This one's a little bit more yellow, this one's a little bit more pink, so it kind of mixes. And if you go to any beauty specialist like Ulta or Sephora, they'll be able to help you determine which colors are best for you. I have a couple of these in here. This is Color Tattoo, which is my eyeshadow. I work with pigments, I don't work with shadows because I often will shoot for hours out of every day, and this stuff does not move. It stays in place. It's just a pigment. It's not super heavy, but usually in modeling you don't really want heavy pigments anyway. I only ever wear enough makeup just to accentuate what I already have for the camera. So like example, my eyelashes are blonde. They're long, but they're blonde, so they just like, they fade into my face, and then it's like, where are your eyelashes? And it's like, I have them. They're just really faint. And then same thing, you know, I have blemishes just like everyone else, and I bring out a little bit of contour with my eyeballs, but I don't do that with the rest of my face because my face is already so angular, so I try to just only add a little bit of pigment to my eyes to bring out my eye shape. And so next we have liner here. I've used this down to the nub. I only ever put this in the very corner between my eyelashes here, and I just wing it a little bit. I don't know if that just marked me. But I only do that to create a false shadow. I don't actually do it as a false lash line, if that makes sense. Marilyn Monroe did the same thing when she made a little line like right here on her eye, because your top lashes make a shadow there in some light. It's so pretty. But I usually let the lighting do that for me at photo shoots because I'm not as specific as Marilyn Monroe. I usually try to keep things as simple as possible and let the lighting do the talking. I have travel size Q-tips. I don't know if you were anything like my parents growing up, but like we had this big thing of Q-tips and we never used the whole thing. So I have this little travel one and I just use these Q-tips from ages ago to keep refilling it. I have a couple of lipsticks. I usually use, and this is what I'm wearing right now, is Clinique's 01 Blushing Pop. Favorite color, love it. I also just got a new favorite red lipstick recently. It's that color. It's very nice, regular. So this is the matte color of Perfect Red. Who would have been able to guess? By NYX. I also have a little bit of lip gloss in here. This particularly is a lip gloss that I got off a flight when I was flying back from Dubai to Miami, and I was in business class on Emirates, which was a cool experience. I might have some behind the scenes of that I can share as well, but that was before I started doing YouTube and I was living this bougie life without like recording it, so I'll have to start recording my bougie life now. But yeah, lip gloss, keep your lips plump. And then for your pencils, make sure you have a little sharpener in there. And yeah, that's about it for this section of my toiletry bag. On to the next one. I have curly hair, so I keep like a curly conditioner, leave-in conditioner in there, if you will. I have some razors, because I shave. If you don't shave, that's fine. A lot of traveling models don't shave and they do just fine with their work. Deodorant, you also can use deodorant or not. You don't have to use any of this stuff. This is just what I use and what I pack, and it may inspire you. Flossers, want to make sure my teeth are flossed. Hairbrush. Now I keep my hair all nice and stuff by not brushing it during the week, and then when I need it to look tidy I just run my fingers through it, and then when I go to shower that's where I draw it through all the way and then I shampoo, condition. That way I'm not ripping at it in the shower. And I think when the hair is wet it tends to bend a little bit more. It's a little bit more porous and stuff. So I try not to brush it when it's wet. I try to only brush it when it's dry, and usually when it has the most oil in it and it needs some TLC and needs a good washing and everything. Realistically, I only wash my hair like once a week. It just doesn't need more than that. It's just looks like that. Moving on, I have vitamin E oil, which is, that's what everybody says keeps your skin looking young, so I'm gonna give it a try. I'm 26 and I look pretty much the same as I did when I was 19. And I've been using this for a few years, so I'm gonna see if it works over time. Maybe I'll end up looking really good, or maybe I really won't. I don't care about the whole aging thing, you know? They put so much pressure on women to look good their whole lives, and it's like, I know I'm always gonna be freaking attractive, okay? Next thing, lotion for my legs and arms and whatever. Make sure everything looks smooth. I have hair ties. A lot of hair ties. I never can have enough hair ties, especially when I'm traveling. I like to put my hair up because, you know, there's always that one freaking person on the jetway bridge when you're standing there waiting to get to your seat and they're behind you just going all over the back of you. So I like to make sure my hair is put up so that way nobody coughs on my hair, because when I'm modeling I like to like fuss with my hair a lot. I, you know, put my hands through my hair like that, so I want to make sure that nobody's coughing on it on planes and stuff. I usually take a shower when I get to where I'm going anyway, but if my hair is fresh I'm not really looking to shower it all that much, because believe me, when I went overseas and I like lived in Indonesia for 9 months, I was able to grow my hair super long because the water quality over in Indonesia is so much better than all of the chemicals and crap that they put into the water here in the States in order to make it like drinking safe, but it doesn't make it good on your hair. So even though there might be like little microbes or terrible minerals or whatever that's in the water in Indonesia, it was really nice on my hair. It didn't damage it. Next thing we have, I have Vaseline. This is also another great thing to have in case you get burnt or cut or whatever. It's good to have this, and Marilyn Monroe was said to have used this as her moisturizer. If you're going to use this as moisturizer, it doesn't actually provide moisturizing agents. It just holds in whatever's in your skin, so it's really good to put on after you take a shower and there's still a nice dew on your face from the shower. I have these homemade lip balms that my cousin gave me for Christmas, and I really think they're super cute, so I just keep some lip balm around in order to moisturize my lips while I'm sleeping at night. Next, I have some Tic Tacs just in case my breath's a little stinky. You can also put them in your carry-on luggage. It's just good to have on hand in case you're feeling like your breath smells pretty bad and you're sitting next to a person really close and you're like, hey, how you doing? And it just smells. Shampoo and conditioner. I honestly use the cheap stuff because I don't think it makes much of a difference. I almost think that the more expensive stuff damages your hair on purpose in the long term, so then you go and buy more of the product thinking it's gonna help it. And again, I think a lot of it's water quality myself. I used a lot of the cheap shampoo when I was overseas and my hair got super long and everyone was like, oh my gosh, what extensions are you using? And if you don't know about curly hair extensions, I asked a couple of my friends, I'm like, what is it like to have extensions? Like, what if I wanted to have mermaid hair down my butt? And they were like, well, curly extensions don't really hold up. And I was like, really? So if you have suggestions for curly hair extensions, let me know in the comments. Next thing, I also keep a few bobby pins around just in case. I usually only ever use them if I'm wearing like a hat or a wig or something that needs to stay on my head. And I don't advocate for it really, but I do have these tanning eye patches. I believe that the sun can be really nice in small doses. So, because the thing is, when I go to a photo shoot and I'm out there for like 12 hours from like 9 to 9 and I'm out there getting cooked, I want to make sure I have a sort of base tan. So when I tan, I only go outside for like 10-15 minutes every other day, and I just lay out and just let whatever happens with the sun happen. I don't really burn at all. It might look a little bit like could be an imprint, but it doesn't even hardly look pink after I go out in the sun. And so yeah, I think having a little bit of a base tan's healthy, and I think a lot of people go out in the sun and they get a nice base tan on their arms and in their chests and their faces a lot of the time too. When I do go out to those 12-hour photo shoots, I do wear sunscreen and I try to stay in the shade as much as possible because I don't want to be in the sun for 12 hours, but it's not always possible. So I have to make sure that I protect my skin when I'm shooting, and then when I'm not shooting, make sure I prepare for those types of days ahead. If I could just have the option of always staying in the studio, I definitely would. But most of the time, it's like a 50-50 shot of like, people want to shoot in the studio, people want to shoot outside. And shooting outside is fantastic, and I love seeing all the different areas that I end up going to. And last but not least, trust me, toothbrush and toothpaste. Make sure you brush your teeth, folks. It's important. And visit the dentist twice a year to get professional cleanings. And if you can't do that for some reason, at least once, please. Alright, that's it for my toiletry bag. Just simple stuff. Some things that I did not include, but a lot of models pack, are hair straighteners or irons, because I mean, this is my trademark, so I don't use heat on it, so I don't own an iron or a straightener. If you have clothing that's a little bit more sensitive to wrinkles, you may want to pack a steamer as well. It's like a portable iron, so make sure you pack a steamer if you have things that you really want to look nice when you arrive, and then you get set up in your hotel room and you steam them the night before, ready for the photo shoots the next day. I'm gonna pack this up and then I'm gonna show you what's in my carry-on bag. Usually I bring small suitcases to big cities, like New York City is a great example. It is a to get this suitcase up and down the subways of New York City. I don't recommend it. The little suitcases, however, that are only about this big, you can get those up and down subways no problem. And usually in those I pack minimal. I don't pack a lot, and sometimes if I don't have a lot of luggage, I might even, for a trip like that, if I have more stuff, I'll keep the majority of the stuff that I have in my room, and I'll have a little carry-on that is put in here to put stuff in, just so I can go to photo shoots with the carry-on and come back. Now normally I don't travel with a carry-on suitcase in the first place because traveling with this and that and my photography equipment is very taxing. If I travel with my photography equipment, I want to make sure that that is on me, and I also want to make sure that my purse is on me. And most airlines only have a 2 carry-on requirement of you can bring a carry-on suitcase and you can bring a carry-on personal item, so you can't bring more than that. And I'm wearing the fanny pack because I'm also going to show you how I can get away with putting extra stuff in my fanny pack, so they don't count this as a personal item. It's like a piece of garment on your body, so that's like super nice. So yeah, let's check out what's in my carry-on personal item bag. If I were to have a carry-on suitcase, I would essentially pack the same stuff that I have in here, just less of it and the things I only need, and then to make sure I communicate with those photographers what they need to have prepared for me when I show up. So I do love this company and I wish that they would sponsor me. I'm new to YouTube, so I don't know about the whole influencer-y thing yet with that. I'm a model, I'm not an influencer. I go to photo shoots and I get paid to have my picture taken. And sometimes I'll be wearing brands and stuff, but those brands are not paying me, they're paying the photographer. The photographer is paying me. And then maybe the brand is paying the photographer to then give me the money. So, but it always goes that way. The brands don't pay me directly. So I'm new to the whole influencer thing. I'm definitely open to it. So like one of the brands that I'd want to sponsor me is this travel brand called Bays. B-I's. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's B-E with an accent mark and then I-S. So B-E-I-S. And they make the coolest travel stuff. So I love the fanny pack pack because I can keep all kinds of stuff in here. So I keep sanitizer on me. This is a very big sanitizer. I actually found this at the airport for $1 and I couldn't believe it because it's so much hand sanitizer but for so little amount of money. And for some reason, even though this is technically 3.38 fluid ounces, I think that's the absolute maximum for airlines because they've never told me like, hey, you can't bring that. Thank God, because I always use sanitizer when I'm on the move. Some people say it's bad for you and I'm sure it is. Like, I'm sure that's not good to put on your skin, but I want to make sure I don't get sick either while I'm traveling because then I lose out on making money if I get sick. And I never get sick, so I must be doing something right there. Moving on, I love this little fanny pack because it also has little pockets where I can store all my cards and my ID and all that good stuff. So I can always keep my cards in here. Oh, and I do recommend these sleeve protectors. This is a radio frequency protective sleeve. That way nobody steals your freaking information as you're traveling. That is so important. It does say to remove at border crossing stations, remove card from sleeve so it can be read. Yeah. So these are really cool. I get them at the DMV's office and I put all my cards in them. But yeah, I can put my ID, my cards, and my passport in there, and I can also keep my phone and I can keep my sanitizer in there. So with that, I have my fanny pack, which does not count as an item. It just counts as like a piece of clothing, so that's super cool. And now we're finally onto the bag. So what is in my bag? Oh, I forgot my items over here too, sorry. It's just like had some stuff linger in the background. I have a lint roller that I usually keep in my toiletry bag, so I just kind of forgot about it, so I'll just put it there. But you should probably bring a lint roller just in case you get fluffies on you. And here's my universal adapter. Super important if you go overseas because the adapters are not the same in every country, and you want to make sure you're able to plug in your phones and charge them. So like Europe, for example. Europe looks like this. It doesn't have the longer prongs that American outlets have, and it's round so it won't fit in the American outlets. So essentially you would plug this into a European outlet, and then in the front you have your ports for American. I believe you can also put any other chargeable, so this is universal all the way around. You can plug in whatever, American, European to American, European. It even has prongs back here for American, so it has everything. I mean, so make sure you get yourself a universal adapter. And so next I'm gonna show you the inside of the bag. So this is very important. This is a lightweight fleece blanket, and you're gonna wanna make sure you have one when you travel. Not only by plane, but by car, and just in general if you're walking around, it's good to have a blanket. You never know when you're gonna need a blanket for either keeping yourself warm or toweling yourself off after you get out of water for whatever reason, if you get rained on or if you get in water for a photo shoot. And I use this the most on the plane, mostly for my back, to make sure I have ample padding. That way my back doesn't give out, because the seats on the plane in economy are not that comfortable. And it's not all the time I get upgraded to business class. So I have good rewards with these airlines since I've been using them for so long. So I'm like a Sapphire member in a lot of them. And so if you haven't applied for a membership on an airline, you definitely should, because you can get lots of benefits. So if you build up points with that airline, which is just buying tickets and going places, then you can start to accumulate traveling points that go towards nicer things like upgraded seats. So yeah, I mean, even right now it's keeping my legs warm, but you want to make sure that you have a travel blanket. And I use this over a neck pillow because it's a lot more compactable than a pillow. You can bring both, but I mean, I can always put this around my neck. It feels so good. So you can use the blanket for multiple purposes, but if you want to make sure that you're wearing a blanket and you have a neck pillow, then bring both. I especially recommend that if you're traveling overseas. If it's more than just a 6-hour flight from LA to Miami and you're going overseas, like from Miami to Spain or something, and it's like a 14-20 hour flight, you're gonna want to make sure that your neck is supported and your back. So moving on. I love this bag because it has so many friggin' pockets. So again, I'm not a sponsor for the brand, but I love them. I have the fanny pack and I have the bag here. A friend of mine got these for me for Christmas and I've wanted them for like over a year and I love them. I used to just fuss with whatever bags I would find to bring stuff, but this fits perfectly under the seat in the airplane. It's meant for this, so I really like this. This is the mini weekender bag by Baze, and this is their fanny pack. I forget what it's called offhand. I'll put it in the wording up above. But anyway, I'll show you like how this works. So it has this movable divider here, but I put my laptop in there and it can fit a normal size laptop, or in this case I have a MacBook Air, so it fits that perfectly fine. There are lots of other pockets. If you had an iPad, you could put it there. If you had other things, there's like 2 more pockets here, another pocket, and then there's a zipper pocket, and there's 2 more pockets here. It's just endless pockets in this bag. Love it. Love this bag. And so I will pack snacks for myself. Now, make sure if you pack a drink that you drink it before you get on the plane, because when you go through TSA pre-check, they'll take that drink from you. Any liquid, whether it be your water bottle or anything else. That's why I put the sunscreen and bug spray in my big bag that goes onto the plane, because they won't let you bring on liquids larger than like 3 ounces. So I don't usually pack drinks. I just try to drink before I get on the plane, and they serve drinks usually. The cheaper airlines don't unless you pay for it, but most drinks are complimentary from airline to airline. Not alcohol. Alcohol usually costs extra. But yeah, in this case, I have some walnuts. I can, pack some nuts. I got some peanuts. I usually pack cookies and crackers too. And definitely some chocolates. I want to make sure that I have chocolate fix here and there. So yeah, it's got lots of room for snacks and stuff. And if there's anything that I specifically want to bring on with me and not put in my bag, because God forbid my bag gets lost, I want to make sure I have all my important stuff in this bag. So I usually only save the important stuff for this bag, and then I put everything that I could lose and repurchase in this one if it were to get lost. Now, you can buy travel insurance for your bags, but I don't know if it actually works. It's like if you lose your bag and your stuff, it's like some stuff's just not replaceable. So you're gonna wanna make sure you pack anything that's valuable on you, including your electronics, your medications, chargers, and make sure that you do not pack batteries in this bag. Make sure you pack batteries on your carry-on. That goes for e-cigarettes, and I don't smoke, so I don't know, but this is what I've heard at the airport. They're like, do you ever have e-cigarettes when you're check-in? I'm like, no. Check your airline for what their requirements are for what you can and can't bring on certain areas. Like, if you have sharp items, you should probably put them in this bag. If you have batteries, they should probably go in this bag. So you're just gonna wanna make sure what your airline's requirements are before you get on the plane and before you start moving your luggage around. Make sure that it fits the requirements. So yeah, I have my universal adapter in here. I've got my chargers, and I've got my medicine in here. Do not forget your medicine, because it's really hard to get medicine here in the States anyway. A lot of the time, if you don't have medication and you're overseas, like my doctor only calls in medications in the States. I often will bounce between New York and Miami, so a lot of the time they'll just send my medications down to Miami, no problem. But like one time I went to Germany, and I lived in Germany for 3 months, and my medication's only on a 3-month period, so I ran out of it, so then I had to go to a German doctor and try to talk to them with a translator. It was this whole thing. I did try to learn German. I don't know any, but besides the point, it is important to make sure that you have all your medications, or you know how to get a hold of more medication if you go over an extended period of time, either overseas or in the States. Make sure you have everything you need for the amount of time that you're going to be gone for. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, feel free to like it, and if you are interested in more content from me, subscribe. I'm always happy when people like you tune into my content, and if you show me some love, then I know what I can keep making and what works, and then if I don't get any love, then I just won't do that again. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm happy that you were able to join and see what I pack when I travel whenever I go to a photo shoot.